Hi, friends. I wanted to go ahead and get our final read aloud ready to go. Let's do our good morning song. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you? I'm fine, and I hope that you are too. I'm so glad to see you. I almost couldn't wait. Can you smile that smile and make today great? All right, you guys. Our final read aloud video is going to be from the Chicken Soup for the Soul, Think Positive for Kids. It's a great book, by the way. This might be a great one to read with moms and dads before bed because they're really short stories, but they're all so wonderful. I have not read this story, so I'll be reading it for the first time with you. But I loved the title. So the title is Make Your Heart Smile. And because I'm sad that it's the end of the year and the end of my time with you as second graders, I wanted to read a story about making my heart smile. So let's hear this story. Make Your Heart Smile, and it's written by Amanda Dodson. My grandmother beeped the horn and I ran out the front door to meet her. She sat smiling in the driver's seat. Where are we going? I asked, even though it really didn't matter. I enjoyed spending time with her whatever we did. You'll see, she said with a sly grin. She was barely 5 foot tall, but made up for it in her big personality and even bigger heart. We drove out of the neighborhood and past the middle school that I attended until we ended up in a place I'd never been. At first I thought it was apartments, but the brick buildings weren't connected, and it seemed more like a small community. Wet clothes hung from the porch railings and trash cans overflowed. Men walked around shirtless, staring at us as we pulled into an empty parking space. I instinctively locked my door. There is nothing to be afraid of, sweetheart, my grandmother said as she squeezed my hand. Before she turned off the ignition, I spotted 2 familiar faces walking our way. It was a mother and a daughter from our church, and the young girl went to my school. My grandmother quickly hugged the woman and said, "Ready to do some shopping, ladies?" I scooted into the back seat with Deidre. We chatted until pulling into our town's local mall. Deidre and I skipped to a popular store where most girls our age shopped, and in the window a big banner read, "Back to School Sale!" We squealed and ran in. There were racks and racks to choose from. Bright-colored shoes and shirts to match. My grandmother and Deidre's mom helped us find the right sizes. But before we made it to the dressing room, Deidre stopped so suddenly I nearly bumped into her. "Look at these," she said as she picked up a pair of orange and yellow duck slippers. She slowly slid her hand into the soft shoe before running it across her cheek. She stripped her socks off and tried them on. "Oh, it's like walking on a cloud." "Aren't they the cutest thing you've ever seen?" But before I could agree, her mother quickly grabbed the slipper out of her hand and shot her a look of disapproval. "You don't need these, Deidre," she said with a stern glare. Deidre shook her head and put the slippers back on the shelf. Steps away, my grandmother overheard the exchange and changed the subject with light-hearted conversation. She was good at that, changing the subject. Almost an hour later, with a pile of clothes in hand, we were done. "Well, why don't you girls keep looking and we'll take care of this stuff," my grandmother said as she and Deidre's mom made their way to the cash register. As my friend and I looked around, out of the corner of my eye, I noticed Deidre's mother wrap her arms around my grandmother before taking the bags of clothes. After lunch, we waved goodbye to Deidre and her mom and watched the 2 walk back to their home. "Did you have fun?" my grandmother asked while putting the car in reverse. "I did. Thank you for the clothes, Grandma." "Well, we have one more thing left to buy and we're done." "What's that?" I asked. "We're going back for those slippers." "It'll be our gift to Deidre," she said, even though I knew she had already given them a huge gift of new school clothes that day. We drove back to the store that afternoon and purchased the fuzzy duck slippers. Weeks later, our family sat around the table enjoying a meal at grandmother's home. She had outdone herself with roast and potatoes, corn and green beans, her famous apple pie for dessert. When we were done eating, I began helping her clean the kitchen. As I brought the dishes to the sink, she leaned down and whispered, "I have something for you in your room." "Go ahead, I'll finish this," she said with her hands plunged into the soapy water. I walked into her bedroom, and lying on the dresser was a gift wrapped in silver paper. My name was written just below a bright blue bow. I ripped it open to find a pair of yellow and orange duck slippers with a note slipped inside one of the shoes. It read, "Some of the best gifts are practical ones, but every little girl needs a present that makes her heart smile. Always make time for what makes your heart smile." Though I've outgrown the shoes, I haven't outgrown the message. My grandmother was happiest when she was giving and doing for others, and I knew she wanted me to find the unique way to encourage people too. And she was right. It would be the best moments in my life, those that make your heart smile. All right, you guys, I hope this summer you find tons of moments that make your heart smile. I miss you, and I cannot wait until I get to see all of your faces again. All right. Bye.